If you look at the certificates required, we will go through the certificates required. The NEET PG, some of these certificates are required while you are actually uploading during admission. During admission, some of these certificates have not been asked. Otherwise, the rest of them you will upload as a PDF. During joining, you will take all these certificates mentioned. So that distinction is here. So please take note of that. But always be ready with every scan copy, or at least scan it and keep it with you for reference. All these mentioned in blue as mandatory for all the candidates. It is required for all the candidates. Rest of them depends upon whether you are eligible or not for those certificates, whether it is required based on your eligibility. NEET PG admit card, currently not required. Later they will ask you to submit. NEET PG scorecard, remove the password protection and share the details. Date of birth proof, SSLC 10th standard certificate is required, can be given. Photo ID proof, current residential address needs to be mentioned. Aadhaar card or passport or voter ID with the current residential address. See, this does not define eligibility. Note that. As long as you are local, that this does not define eligibility. CRRI completion certificate, temporary or permanent medical registration certificate from respective state medical council, that is required. Any state medical council registration is fine. You don't need to have an Andhra Pradesh registration. You can take it up later. MBBS study certificate. Note that many candidates ask what is an MBBS study certificate. Any certificate which mentions that you are a bona fide student of this batch and you studied in this institute from this year to this year, that is sufficient. You have a certificate which says that somewhere it says that I have studied from this year to this year, that is sufficient. You call it a bona fide certificate, you call it a pass certificate which has the details of your pass, that is also sufficient. So go ahead with any certificate which says you studied in that institute from this year to this year. MBBS degree certificate or provisional degree, candidate's passport size photo and signature are to be uploaded. Migration or transfer certificate from MBBS institute, that will be required. Here we have candidates have a difficulty because some candidates won't get a migration or a transfer certificate till you get the allotment. Institute won't give. Maharashtra doesn't give a migration certificate till you get an allotment. They'll give you a migration certificate saying you are migrating to this university only. Without knowing that, they will not give. So in that case, we call them every year, and NTRH's response saying you upload a self affidavit. Later they might create an issue, but even as otherwise they will accept a self affidavit. Right now, what we would suggest is call NTRHS yourself, get a confirmation so that they are very clear that they have responded back to many candidates. They can't go back. Tell that, can I, they will suggest a self affidavit. Otherwise, ask if I can upload a self affidavit. Is it sufficient? You can upload a self affidavit, just an affidavit saying to NTRHS, I don't have a migration certificate. I will get it only after allotment. I will submit it later after admissions is what you need to mention. And then take a scan of it, and just in a white sheet, they take a scan of it and upload it. Study 6 to 12th study certificate is required. This is for those candidates who did MBBS from Siddhartha Medical College to claim local status. And non-local candidates, you will have to submit any one of these. 10-year study certificate. See, we said 10 years you should have resided in a particular place. Any study certificate is also sufficient. If it says Andhra Pradesh, a study certificate from your institute is also fine. Issued by the Mandal Revenue Officer is also fine, saying that you have studied here, or residence certificate issued by the Mandal Revenue Officer is also fine. So any study certificate is fine, or Mandal Revenue Officer issued revenue certificate is fine. Employment certificate of parents working in AP. These are candidates or spouses or employees. Any one of these is fine. Even if this is spouse's certificate, that is also fine. And if you are employed, your employment certificate in those undertakings, state government, etc., that is also fine. So these certificates are based on non-local status. Latest integrated permanent caste certificate is required, along with nativity, birth and community certificate is what it says. That might be required. You can just take that. A minority certificate if it is applicable. PWD certificate issued by the competent authority. Here we have some confusion. You can upload the certificates you have. They might call you for a verification and then later get that verified. Get your they'll possibly evaluate and then get you as part of the merit list under PWD category. In service candidates, you will have to get annexure 4A and annexure 4B printed and digitally signed local status certificate. This is not for all. If you are migrated from Telangana to AP, then for claiming that local status, you will have to provide this. But a digitally signed local status certificate, some candidates are finding it difficult. Talk to the revenue officer. We are also trying to figure out, but we are not sure how, how much time it will take, etc. Bond documents, annexure A for non-service and annexure B for in-service candidates. Right now, it is not required. It will be required only at the time of admissions. FMGs have to upload the screening certificate, FMG screening test certificate, and printout of the filled online application form has to be taken later. So out of all these three certificates, last three, obviously application form printout will be coming only after you apply. All these three you will need to take up later. Bond and printout of online application form and NEET PG admit card currently not required to be uploaded.